What happens when a carefully laid plan teeters on the edge of disaster? When leadership shifts, loyalties crack, and survival demands more than just courage? Who do you trust? Welcome back to Comic Drops, where we take an intellectual approach to comics, where today we're diving into Feral issue number 13 from Image Comics, an issue that might just change everything for our ragtag group of feline survivors. Tensions are running high, paranoia is creeping in, and not everyone is on the same page anymore. Just when you think a certain someone is stepping up to lead again, the past comes back to rear its ugly head. But can old wounds be mended in time to face what's waiting in the shadows? Or is it already too late? Strap in for heart-pounding tension and surprising role reversals in another dynamic and thrilling issue of Feral. So, does this group make it into Pet City, and what awaits them inside? Stay tuned to find out. Feral issue number 13 picks up immediately after the harrowing events of the previous issue, with Elsie seemingly discovering a way into the long-sought sanctuary of Pet City. But right from the first page, any hope of peace is drowned out by panic. Gigi, usually the calm and composed one, opens the issue in a state of complete breakdown. We're all going to die. We've got it already. All of us, she declares, setting a grim tone for what lies ahead. Her panic stuns the other cats, Lord, Elsie, and Chloe, all of whom look on in confusion. It's jarring to see Gigi unravel like this, especially when she continues. What's the point of any of this? In a surprising role reversal, Elsie becomes the voice of reason here. Gigi, this plan can work. We can get to safety, she pleads with Gigi, but Gigi's not convinced. She's exhausted, worn down by the endless cycle of fear and survival, and terrified that the virus will soon claim her, her kittens, and the rest of the group. And frankly, who could blame her? Elsie's track record has been rocky at best. Death and disaster have followed nearly every one of her decisions. Even Elsie suspects Gigi's distrust stems from the fact that she came up with the plan. And again, who can blame her? And then tensions spike when Gigi suspects the kittens might already be infected after the chaos of the last issue. Still covered in blood from Moosh's battle with the rabid animals, the kittens begin licking themselves clean, an image that's disturbing and concerning. Gigi shouts about eating the infected lady as well in the previous story arc, and Lucky recoils in horror, asking, "You ate a lady?" To which Chloe immediately replies, "Not me." Elsie tries to defend their actions, explaining that they were trapped, but Lucky, still stunned, mutters, "Wow, that's messed up." We then get a crucial bit of world building that clears up a long-standing question in the series and Gigi's concern. Can you become infected by eating the infected? When Gigi retreats for a breather, Lucky follows her and reveals that Moosh has been eating the infected since the outbreak began, without ever turning. The two watch Moosh devour another infected creature, and it's unsettling, but it settles the debate. In this universe, eating the infected doesn't spread the disease. Then Lucky turns to Gigi and says, "I will eat anything I can get my paws on to get by out here. You ate a lady. That's hardcore." It's a strangely tender moment, one that somehow calms Gigi down despite the surrounding chaos. Lucky continues to vouch for Elsie's plan as well, saying, "I'm trying to survive inside that warm, safe building full of cat food." It's a brutally simple yet convincing argument. Maybe, just maybe, Elsie has actually put together a solid plan this time. With Pet City looming as the closest thing to paradise, the group decides to go for it. Elsie maps out the strategy. The walls are too smooth to climb. There aren't any connected buildings, but there is a way in right there on the roof. We just have to get there. If we can climb high enough on that pole, it's just a short walk across the wire. The others are understandably hesitant. The pole is high. The wire is even more treacherous. But Elsie reassures them. It's not higher than the trees we've been running through. And for once, she seems prepared, thoughtful even. This plan can serve as her redemption, a way to prove to the others that she can still be trusted. However, Lord raises a concern about the bad kind still lurking outside, but Elsie has that covered too. Tony Fleece cleverly paces and structures this section by jumping between Elsie explaining the plan and the group executing it in real time, adding tension and momentum to the issue. Elsie rightly questions as well if Pet City is truly safe. What if there are infected inside too, she wonders. But Lucky argues these droolers aren't cooking up plans to break into places. Their minds, he explains, are instinct-driven. Then Elsie suggests that Moosh serve as a distraction, leading the infected away while the others sneak behind Pet City to climb up the telephone pole. The plan unfolds in dramatic fashion, with the infected scattering in fear as Moosh charges them. But this moment introduces a troubling contradiction, because the infected have a look of fear on their faces. We've seen infected like Patch retain some of their emotional memory, even love for their families. So what does this say about the rest of the infected? Are they all mindless, or something more tragic? As the group preps for the climb, Lord asks, "Where did all the people go?" And that's a haunting line for sure. Is he referring only to Pet City, or the entire cityscape? Considering what happened during the Lady story arc, it's chilling to think what a group of infected humans could do to this group of cats. Gigi worries about the kittens as well, making the climb, and that's a fair concern. But I'm worried about Lord because he's declawed. Fortunately, Elsie has a solution. Each adult cat carries a kitten up the pole, and as for Lord, Chloe has him covered. And then Lord hesitates because he's afraid, but Chloe literally pushes him up the pole, his terrified expression offering a rare moment of comic relief. But we know what's at stake here. Any slip means death. When it comes time to cross the wire, the cats worry it may shock them. But Elsie points out, the birds seem to be sitting on it with no problem, right? And adds, if we're careful, we should be able to make it across without too much trouble. But then Gigi responds with a sharp dose of sarcasm. If we slip, we'll just fall several stories onto the hard alloy concrete. No sweat. Is Gigi just being realistic, or a bit jealous of Elsie reclaiming the leadership role of the group? And then Gigi argues the worst always happens, but Lucky steps in with his usual bravado. This time will be different, because this time you've got me with you. Which of course feels like the kind of overconfident statement that could get someone killed in this series. And Elsie expresses concern about Ghost, who's deaf, but as it turns out, he's the first one to actually make it across the wire. Then in a touching moment, Lucky walks up to Elsie and cuts off her cone. You won't be able to balance with this dumb cone on your head, he says. And Elsie looks at him with a soft, loving expression. You just know this is going to stir up something messy between her and Gigi. And Lucky seems too good to be true in a lot of ways, which makes me all the more suspicious of him as well. And the cats crossing the wire is intense. Gigi looks terrified with a kitten dangling out of her mouth. Lord can barely maintain his balance. And just to ratchet up the tension, a storm is rolling in. Lightning strikes as they cross, a moment made unforgettable by Trish Forstner and Tone Rodriguez's stellar art, with electrifying panels and expressive visuals that turn this sequence into a showstopper for this issue. And predictably, Lord slips. I saw it coming. But in a rare moment of triumph, Elsie catches him. Then Eleanor nearly falls too. The group all makes it across. Everyone except for Elsie. Just as she's about to reach the roof, she then falls too, but Gigi reaches out and saves her. Below, the infected start to gather, noticing Elsie just above. Gigi then pulls Elsie up to the roof to safety. Elsie, overwhelmed with what has just happened, apologizes. She owns up to her bad decisions and thanks Gigi for saving her. But Gigi doesn't respond. She turns away and calls for the kittens. That cold shoulder says it all. Gigi has every right to be angry, but this breakdown in their friendship could spell disaster down the road. Team Elsie or Team Gigi? Where do you guys stand? Let me know in the comments below. And finally, the group enters Pet City through the skylight. Inside, it's everything they dreamed of: food, toys, and soft bedding. Elsie whispers, "It's paradise." And Lucky adds, "It's ours." But just when you think they've found safety, Lucky notices something. Several cats are perched atop the shelves, staring down at them, menacingly. When Elsie asks, "How did you get in here? Did you come through the roof?" a creepy Sphinx cat responds, "We have always been here." The speech bubble's odd formatting hints at something unnatural or deeply wrong. Are these cats infected or something else entirely? Or is this just the creative team messing with us before the next issue drops on June 25th? I guess we'll have to find out then. Ultimately, Feral issue number 13 delivers incredible characterization, high emotional stakes, and another piece of crucial world building. The tension between Gigi and Elsie escalates even as Elsie shows real growth and leadership. We just have to hope those eerie cats in Pet City don't undo everything. Tony Fleece once again crafts a tightly paced, emotionally resonant issue, while the art from Trish Forstner, Tone Rodriguez, and Brad Simpson shines, especially during the dramatic power line crossing. So this comic delivers a heavy dose of tension, redemption, and emotional reckoning. Elsie may have finally proven she can lead, pulling off a near impossible plan and saving lives in the process. But not everyone's ready to forgive and forget. Gigi's silence speaks volumes, and the cracks in this group's foundation are only getting worse. And just when you think they've found sanctuary in the elusive Pet City, the final page says otherwise. Who are these cats who've always been there? What secrets does Pet City really hold? And could the worst still be waiting in the darkness? With stellar artwork, atmospheric colors, and tight storytelling, this issue proves that even in a quieter chapter, Feral can still leave your heart pounding while holding your breath. If you're as intrigued or terrified about where this series is heading as I am, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns, and drop a comment below. Are you on Team Elsie or Team Gigi? Who do you trust going forward? As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.